Hello and welcome to the June tour. It's a beautiful day and it has not rained now for a few days, so I've come out to film this June tour. So we're starting here on the east wall. The sun's gone in at the moment, which is probably a good thing because the sun typically is shining bright overhead on this section. So we have here a new salvia. I've added a few plants here because we had a fox a baby fox that came into the garden and decided to trample on several of my plants. But of course, it's created an opportunity. So I've dug up the plants that were there. I've placed them in temporary pots and hopefully they'll recover. But in the meantime, I've placed a beautiful salvia. It's a lovely lilac colour. It is called Cool Violet. And then next to it, I have placed here an Estelby, and it is a Delift lace. It's going to be a really lovely light pink colour. You can just about see the top of the flower heads there, and that's going to look quite lovely contrast. Now I bought this particular plant because I have this hydrangea here. It's a daredevil hydrangea, and as you can see, it's a beautiful mauve purple colour, and it really stands out against the green. So I thought adding this plant with this one here would look really nice together. I would love to find some more plants of this similar colour, maybe to put at the back. There is still space there. So any suggestions from yourselves, I would be grateful. And I would love to run with your suggestion and purchase something for that area. So going through here to the next section, I have a beautiful poppy. Now this poppy I did buy several years ago. It's the wrong colour. I thought it was going to be pink, but it's a very orange colour, a deep peach orange, I think you describe it as. It is beautiful. Poppies don't last very long, so I'm not really too bothered with it. However, I do have space in my front garden that I literally have lots of different plants at the front, regardless of colour. It's not a major thing for me, so I will, once it's flowered, dig it up and place it in my front garden. So I have all the way along this border phlox. They're all white at the back and they grow really tall, and it's going to be outstanding come mid July, early August. They should come out really beautiful. I've recently purchased this clematis, which is starting to grow quite lovely. It is called a Florida Teja or Taja clematis, and you can just about see the flower. Really nice. And my neighbours have recently um, placed a clematis. So this clematis that's hanging over the fence is not mine. It belongs to my neighbours, but I think it really goes really well. So I'm quite pleased about that. So Mr. Fox decided also to trample on a phlox that I had here. Again, that's now in a temporary pot recovering. And I've put here a verbena, and it is the Buenos Aires one. So hopefully it will grow up really nice and tall. The purple will look really nice with the gentle Hermione rose that I have at the back. My roses have already bloomed, so they are at the moment, they've all been deadheaded. Unfortunately, I didn't record a film on the roses, but I'm hoping to later in the season. My Olivia Austin rose has got its second flush of buds here, so that's doing really, really well. I'm pleased about that. And I've also got a beautiful poppy here. These are annual poppies. So once these seed heads have ripened, I will take them and just scatter them at the back of the border, and hopefully they'll come back the same colour next year, fingers crossed. Here I have the phlox. This one here is really beautiful pink colour. It's been here for several years. I could lift and divide it and maybe place some of the plants in various parts of the garden, but to be quite honest, I'm really happy with that one where it is. I've done the Chelsea chop at the front and I've left the back so you can see the flower heads here, and the front will probably start flowering in a couple of weeks after the back section. So this phlox here is called, I do have the ticket, Paniculata Bright Eyes. That's what it's going to look like. And next to it I have the Phlox Paniculata Sweet Summer, which is a lovely purple colour. And those ones are starting to come out. I have had some roses from this David Austin. It is the Royal Jubilee. It's not prolific, so last year it gave me a couple of flowers, and this year looks to be the same. So I've got a bud next to that one, and then a bud here, and then that's it. So it's not prolific, and I think with a lot of roses you can't just have one, you might have to do 2 or 3 in the same area. At the back is the David Austin Litchfield Angel. These are very pretty. It is creamy, so it opens up in a creamy pink peach colour, and then it slowly goes lighter and lighter to the final white. Again, I have to purchase an obelisk perhaps here. At the moment it's just got temporary canes supporting it, but come spring next year I'll cut it back really hard and hopefully it will come back even stronger. On previous videos I have pointed out this section here. I have the Litchfield Angel, the Royal Jubilee, the Princess Anne and the Queen of Sweden roses. Unfortunately, the Princess Anne, that's finished flowering and hopefully I'll get some more buds coming. And then the Queen of Sweden this year has not done as well as previous years so far. I really do think it might be something to do with the weather this year, because we've had so much rain, there's hardly been any warm days. So I think it really has changed the habits of the rose. I really love this section of the garden. I have my shed and a pretty little window box that's full of fuchsias and lots of sort of country cottage garden look about it. And I do live in suburban London, and it just reminds me of the countryside. Really pretty. Lots of fuchsias in the window box here and campanulas. And in a couple of weeks, more and more fuchsias will give me some flowers, just like the ones here at the front. I have my salvia. Now this salvia here, I've shown it on previous videos. It is Love and wishes. The slugs and snails have had a good go at the leaves, but it has survived and it's just starting to lose its flowers, but there are still some really pretty. Also in this section is my Olivia Austin rose, which I keep in the pot. Um, Unfortunately, again, it's not been the best year for it, and I do really think it's to do with the weather. Quite recently, I purchased this purple bell vine. I've never seen this before, and I just fell in love with it straight away. I really do need to get a pot that I'll either hang on the pergola here, or probably something that hangs on the fence so that it can be in the sun, because it's in the shade here at the moment, but it's only because I haven't had a chance to go out and purchase something to put on the fence. Just give you a little close up. So beautiful. Apparently they're very prolific. They are frost tender. So in the winter, I've been advised to take it indoors, collect the seeds, sow some in the spring, and hopefully I will have this plant or this climber for many years to come. Really beautiful. It's native to Mexico, so it's used to very warm conditions. Just giving you a long shot of the back of the garden. The clematis here, this is its second summer. It's absolutely beautiful. I love it. The only problem is I really want another one now to grow on this pergola here on this side. So I will try and find something of equal size to equally flower at this time of year, but it may be a different colour for the end there. Any suggestions, please do put it in the comments box. I would love to hear from you. Anyone who has clematis that you think it's mostly in the sunshine during the day, but not intense, because I still have a north facing garden and it doesn't get as hot as some south facing gardens. This was a recent pot that I've put together. Um, it's a Rebecca in the middle, which of course flowers in the summer, so July, August and September. I bought this last year, this plant, and it's starting to come alive again because it died back and I thought I'd lost it, but it has come back. The only thing is it has bright yellow flowers. I loved it, but it's for the front of the house, so it will be moving. And by the time this flowers, the pinks and the purples will be gone, so it'll be white and yellow. So that will look really nice. I will try at some point to do a video just on my roses. This is fast becoming one of my favourites. It is a whiter shade of pale, David Austin. I really love it. It grows to about 3 foot, so I think it's almost at its full height. It loves full sun, part shade, so it's ideal here. It gets a lot of sun in the middle of the day. And then it's not so intense, obviously, in the early morning or late afternoon. So they start off very close buds in a pink, blush pink, and then they open up, and as they get bigger, they become very pale. Really beautiful. Recently placed this Salvia Nemorosa. Called, yeah, Nemorosa. Really beautiful, I think. My Cosmos has really done well, so I'm really pleased about that. These have just come out. put the name up on screen. My hanging baskets, really, really pleased with those. Again, at the back, I have had the roses come out, but I'll do a special video on those because they're not looking their best. This is another favourite of mine, this rose here, Rachel's Joy, which is a Peter Beals rose. I think I'd like to buy another one just to bulk it out a little bit here. Now, this section of the garden has just gone wild. I need to take a little bit of time and maybe cut the areas that need a trim down. But lots of things have finished flowering. The Hydrangea is really doing beautiful here. I do have another Hydrangea, which I will show you in a little while. And then I have lots of phlox, roses at the back here as well. I also have some raspberries growing. Now, I've tried really hard to get rid of these raspberries. I planted them when I first moved in and I keep cutting them back and they keep coming. So I think I will just leave them be and just keep them under control. I also have at the back a grapevine, which I do need to remove. It's not doing very well here. And then up above, I have my cherry tree. And I do have quite a lot of cherries this year, and I think that is because of all the rain we've been having at the right time of year to enable all these cherries to form. The only thing is we have a battle to get them picked before all the birds come in and eat them. I have a lace cap hydrangea which is slowly coming through. Really lovely pale pink. Oh, here we are. I love this hydrangea. I've cut it back so many times and it is just absolutely doer. It just gives. Love it. So this section here, it gets morning sun and then it's shady in the afternoon. The Hydrangea is about to come into bloom. I've moved this here probably last year. It didn't do very well, so I'm keeping an eye on it this year because I think it actually prefers more sun than it's getting here. So I'll just have a review of this at the end of the summer. And this is now into my shady area. I have placed 2 mirrors here. And I think it just gives it a sort of a mysterious kind of look, which I really love. Peaceful and harmonious, this green section. If I had a larger garden, I would just dedicate a huge part of it to this kind of look, this peaceful look. And I'd put a table of chairs right in the middle and hide away. I do have a philodendron planted here. Now, philodendrons are woodland plants. Now, in other parts of the garden where I have them, they've already flowered. Their flowers have gone over already, but this one has yet to flower. And I'm not sure why this particular one takes so long to flower. I might have to do a little bit of research on that. All these areas here, there's a few things that have yet to flower. So recently purchased this colocasia here, and it's primarily to try and cover as much of the pond as possible. So if you have a pond in a lot of sun, it tends to create a very good environment for algae growth. The pond at the moment is not as clear as it should be, so I have placed my anceti here to just try and create a lot more shade over the pond. I did have here last year a large hydrangea plant, but the problem with that was once the flower heads had finished flowering, all the seeds would fall into the pond, so we had to get rid of that. So whatever I put here has to not be flowering, so that unless they're big petals that I can fish out, but small ones would really not be good for the pond. So because I'm filming in the morning, I can't shoot from this direction, and that's only because obviously I'll be shooting into the sun. So hopefully you can see everything that's here. I have the Dahlia Evelyn that's just come out. And I have some other dahlias that I planted in much later in the season that are still very small, but I am confident that they're going to start catching up with the larger ones, which are my first planting ones that I put in the pots. Also, I have recently purchased this plant here. Now, it is called, and I can't believe I've already forgotten what it's called, I've never seen it before. It is a Lewisia, and I've never seen this plant before, and I fell in love with it straight away. It's just the colour variations of the flower, and coming from a plant that looks very normal, like a succulent. I haven't had time to research this plant, but I absolutely fell in love with it and I bought it straight away without hesitation. So I'm hoping it will do well in the garden. So once I've researched a little bit about it, I'll make sure that I put it in the right place, whether it's fine in the pot, whether I need to bring it in the winter. Doesn't matter. I just really am enjoying this plant. I bought it yesterday and I can't stop looking at it because I love it. These pots are looking absolutely fabulous. I also planted these calla lilies not so long ago, um, and it's not as big as I would have liked them to be, but it is its first season. I will be interested to see whether or not they grow much bigger. So these bigger dahlias, you'll see in a previous video how huge the tubers were. They're doing really well. Again, not the colour I would have chosen for the garden, but you know what, on the deck, maybe I should just let things be and just enjoy the plant regardless of the colour. So I'm at the back of the house. So this area is mostly in the shade. I have most of my hostas here. I do a lot of housekeeping in this section. I have put down slug pellets. They're up on the deck, and I hope that the slugs and snails will stay away as long as possible, because I absolutely love my hostas. I've also bought a second ancetty here. I have got a larger one, which I've just shown you, and I wanted to have another one. So I purchased another one and I've got it in its little pot. Hopefully it will do as well as the other. Some of you will recall from a previous video, I planted up this cage and it is looking absolutely amazing. The only thing is, this section here, I wish I'd replicated all the way round. I'll just give it a little turn so you could see the other side. It's all on one side, which is fine because I will leave it this way round. I think it's very beautiful. I'm just starting to flower here. And another purchase, a new hosta. I haven't got this variation. So, sorry, variegation. It is a modern classic Vulcan hosta. I'm going to put it in a nice little pot. It's already flowering. Looks like a lilac colour. Really, really beautiful. So final view of the garden in June. I really hope you've enjoyed the June tour. Please do subscribe. I will be posting other videos during the summer months. Please do make any comments about the garden, especially the clematis that I want to place on that final post. Any ideas, please do let me know. I hope you will join me for my future tours and any other videos that I post. Thank you so much for joining. Take care now. Bye.